I think you've gotten your terms mistaken. I think you're mistaken on that. Today, I was having a conversation after I posted to my story last night about getting my weighted walk in, my ruck, as I've now discovered it's called. Because, as we know here, the work must get done. The work does not give a shit about your feelings, about the conditions, about anything. The work only requires that it is completed every single day. You got to pay your dues every single day. That's the cost of success. That's the cost of chasing greatness. Then you must pay them every single day. And within that, what you gain is mental discipline, fortitude, focus. You become unstoppable. Things don't affect you the same way because you just show up. And over time, it changes your perception of reality and how you show up in things. Those days that feel difficult, feel daunting, feel like you don't want to do it, or obstacles are placed in your way that would derail most men. You look at them with a smile on your face going, fuck, yes. So, where I live, it is misty, it is rainy, it is cold as balls at the moment. And the work doesn't care. As I said, it doesn't give a shit. So, to help document my journey, I posted the before photo of my walk and then the after photo and the mist and the rain. So I got done at 7 o'clock at night last night. And it was, I think, 2 degrees and it's misty and it's wet as shit. And I got the comment of, well, you're crazy. I was like, responded probably a little bit harshly, but at the same point, it's an accurate response. And I was like, crazy is the word that the undisciplined use to describe the committed. And it's this thing that is thrown around. It's like you're obsessed. I always loved Kobe's response on this, Kobe Bryant. And he'd talk about it and goes, why is obsessed a dirty word? Why is being obsessed with pursuing greatness a dirty word? Shouldn't that be what we aspire to be? Instead of settling for mediocrity, shouldn't we be obsessed with achieving greatness? Of being the best version of ourselves? The best father, the best husband, the best man? Or in whatever endeavor or pursuit that you go after? Shouldn't we aim to be obsessed with that? And I meant it. Crazy is the word that is used to describe the committed by the undisciplined, the uncommitted. Those people who aren't willing to do what it takes. And yeah, if we were just talking about health and fitness and we were just talking about dropping a few kilos, there are other ways to do it. You don't need to show up at this level. You don't. Does it make it easier? Yes. Does it make the results better? Yes. Does it mean they compound that much faster? Yes. But we're playing a bigger game than that. We are playing the game of becoming the greatest version of yourself, the greatest father, the greatest husband, the greatest man, showing up as the greatest version in every aspect of your life. That requires doing unusual things. That requires an unusual level of discipline, focus, and fortitude. So yeah, going for a walk when it's raining and it's cold is part of, it's just part of the course. It's just what you have to do. And as I said, these are the days that define you. There are many people, including people who are in my circle, who are like, why would you fucking do that? Because I said I would. I didn't get it done earlier in the day. So I can't go to sleep until it's done. I'm fucking 95 days in. The chances of me now turning around and being like, I don't want to do that, are next to fucking none. I am getting this done. It has now become entrenched in me. And as I close in on the end of my first phase of 126 to greatness, I'm looking at what phase 2 is going to be and the new things I'm going to introduce into that, because these have been built into habits. That daily walk with weight, that weighted walk, those workouts, the nutrition, all those things, the cold shower, the daily photo, all that stuff. That is just habit now. I'm really, dialing it in and making sure that it's going to be habit by continuing it. But I don't need to think about them anymore. This is just what has to get done. And I've changed the way I structure my day for that. Because early on, I was suffering with it. Because I knew I was going to get it done. But often days, my days would get fucked up. And, more often than not, it would be 7:30 at night, 8 o'clock at night. And I'd be doing one or two of those things. That's not sustainable. Like, I have work to do. I have other commitments that I have to get done. So I had to figure that out. And I've now figured that out. Yeah, it means I have to get up at 5 a.m. It means my workouts are done at 6 a.m. I've structured my day so that I get my my weighted walks in before I come home. This is how it's done. And look, I also recognize that I am incredibly blessed in the way my life is structured to allow me to do this. But the flip side is I've chosen to structure my life this way. I have shifted things around to give me the ability to do this. And at the same point, I have to keep pushing forward because I don't like the full way that my life is structured. I have to continue to do the work and just find a way to overcome until I can fully structure my life the way I want it. But that's part of it. And I've spoken about this many times before, that when you undertake something like this, you will receive judgment. People will judge you. People will try and sabotage you. People will try and pull you down. That is inevitable because you are holding up a mirror to them on where they are lacking, where they are not showing up. And it's why I said this the way I did, because crazy is the word that the undisciplined used. And it wasn't meant truly in a negative way, but it's still a negative comment. You're crazy. Like, that's not exactly a positive statement about me. But because I choose to buck the normal, I choose to, say fuck you to average and mediocrity, I'm going to be labeled as obsessed, as crazy, over the top. And that's okay, because I'm willing to wear those in the pursuit of greatness, in pursuit of something bigger than myself, to be the best father, husband, man I can be. Because that's what this is about. This is bigger than me. It's not about a six-pack. It's not about being physically fit. They're just the tools that lead to the other things. And the same applies to my children. I got this question the other day, and they're like, so, for example, my children have never watched TV in their life. And I will continue that for as long as humanly possible. And they are not going to get social media. They're not going to get smartphones. Because being a parent, being a father, isn't about the easiest version for me. Yeah, that makes things harder for us. It means we've got to keep them occupied 24/7. But it's not about the easy way about. Being a parent is about doing the absolute best for your children at whatever cost. They don't get a choice. They aren't able to look after themselves yet. They don't know what the best thing is for them. That's your role. And so you have to often choose the harder version for you, which is best for them. And someone asked them, like, aren't you worried about them being weird or being left out or being different? I'm like, no. If anything, that's good. Have you seen where society is these days? Have you seen the children these days? The fucking little zombies walking around, stacking it, hurting themselves, addicted to porn at 12. They reckon the average age of a boy finding porn these days is 10. Can you imagine how that fucks with his perception of sexual gratification and the objectifying women? The things that they see and they interpret. Yeah, I'm okay with them being weird or different from their peers, because I don't want them to fit in with this world. The fact that I am raising my children to have any form of discipline, competitive nature, focus, fortitude, fitness, ability to read, will separate them from the rest. And that's good. I've never understood this concept of, don't you want to fit in? No. I want to stand out. I want to be me. I want to be the best version of me. I want to excel in life. Why would I want to fit in with the masses? I don't get that as a concept. And I want the same for my children. I want the absolute best for them as well. I want them to be able to thrive in this world. And I don't want them to get addicted to these things. Social media, phones, screens, all these kinds of things. The things that they get exposed to. And they're bad when the people who create these technology refuse to let their own children have them. If you go into the tech world, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't allow his kids on social media. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, doesn't allow his kids to have smartphones. The people who are creating this technology don't allow their children to have it. This should scream to you how detrimental it is. They profit off the suffering of others. They don't want that to affect their own children. So we need to start taking looks at these things that we are freely allowing our children to have. And there is going to come a point where I'm going to have to make hard decisions. Because as I've spoken about many times, I'm heavily addicted to social media, to TV, to video games, these kinds of things. So I'm going to have to reach a point where I'm going to have to make an honest decision of, if I am enacting this onto my children, am I living in congruent by then participating in it myself? Yeah, at the moment I could make excuses, and I do, and palm it off as, well, they're just too young. But as they get older, that just becomes a question of my authenticity. And so I'm starting now, well before that becomes a true question, to do my best to break my addiction to those things. And not just to be the most authentic version of myself as a father, but also just to be the best version of myself as a man. The amount of time I piss away with TV, social media, video games, all those kinds of things. I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to need to sedate. Yes, we need to take downtime and we need to rest and recover. But those things aren't resting and recovering. They are sedating. We need to do things that uplift us, that fuel our soul, that invigorate us, that are rejuvenating in nature. Things that you mindlessly do are not that. Things that will rejuvenate you still require effort. They just don't require taxing effort. They should be things like drawing, coloring in, painting, puzzles, spending time with loved ones, reading, any of these kinds of things. Walk in nature, doing fun things together, hobbies, sports, whatever it may be. These things that will actually rejuvenate you. We need to get away from sedation because it's actually fueling that burnout, because you don't gain recovery from doing these things. You are just turning off your mind and sedating yourself and giving yourself dopamine hits, which makes it worse. So we need to start looking at our own actions on the microcosm as well as the macro. And this is where it starts. 126 is the starting process, because we look at your exercise, we look at your health, we look at your nutrition, we look at your daily checklist, we look at you being focused, disciplined, committed, able to follow through, able to keep your word, able to do things that most men would crumble at. We start there, and then we start chipping away at the other things. You're trying to become the best father, the best husband, the best man you can be. You're trying to show up and chase greatness in every area of your life. You didn't think you could continue to do those things that, as someone said to me the other day, those mere mortals participate in. And you don't have to do it all at once. As I said the other day, it's one step, one more day, one more effort, one more thing. Build the habit, build the consistency, build the muscles in here, the heart. Build those things first, and then we'll start chipping away at them. But this is an ever-going journey, and it's about becoming the absolute best version of yourself. But isn't that something worth doing? Don't you think that would be a life worth living? A fulfilling life to constantly be sculpting away, chipping away, carving the things that do not serve you to become the best version of you. Does that mean those things will never happen again? No. I'm sure we're going to watch TV again. I'm sure we'll watch movies. I know for an absolute fact that I'm going to eat and drink things that aren't good for me in a societal setting. Though I've come to love how I feel doing this, I'm excited to go out for a date with my wife, us to drink a bottle of wine together. That's an exciting thing. It doesn't mean I will give these things up forever, but it means that they'll be rarities and they'll mean more in that moment, because it's about chasing the best life possible. I don't need to have those things on a regular basis to have a good and fulfilled life. A good and fulfilled life comes from doing work, from putting yourself out there, leaving it all out on the field of battle and chasing something greater than you. That's where fulfillment comes from. To look back at the end of your life with your kids and your grandkids and hopefully your great-grandkids and to go, look at these incredible people I influenced through my actions, through how I lived my life. Look at the legacy I have left behind. Look at the amazing people they have become. That, to me, summarizes everything. That, to me, is a life worth living. So, if you're ready to live that kind of life, if you're ready to leave that kind of legacy for your family, we've got all the standard things here. You got to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. Let me know how you feel about this. And if you're ready to step into that power, you can either click the link in the bio and join the Daily Greatness mailing list, or you can message me directly and we'll just throw you in the deep end. We'll burn the boats and we'll get you started on the path to chasing your greatness. So until then,